Okay, this GoToMeeting will focus on the client login, the terminal login, and the features associated with simply logging in. Clients will simply go to Bowling Reward, terminal.bowlingrewards.net. That's www.terminal.bowlingrewards.net. They can save that, of course, in their favorites, and that will bring them to the screen that we're viewing now. They can keep this shrunken down like any window, and all they need to do is just type in their username and password, which we create for them. So let's go with a sample account, BudBowl1, BudBowl1, and hit login. And then this is the screen that comes up for the terminal. Now we'll notice, I'll move this a little bit here, we'll notice that this screen also can be shrunk down and can save down here like a window. If the client ever indicates that this screen is disappearing or logging out, then that's a computer setting. They need to call our support, and we will set that or tell them how to set that on their computer properly, so this can just stay up forever. Now the first thing that we want to notice is that there are 3 ways really to sign in. This cardholder string, you can put any name or letter of the customer in there. Now, of course, the card has to be activated, but if it is, then they don't need to swipe the card or even hand put the ID in this box right here. They can simply bring up the name and go ahead and do it. Let's say if I'm registered, we'll just start with an S. We hit the search button. All the S's should pop up, and there they all are. And so then you can say, are you Steve Schroeder? Yes, I am. We have the phone number, his mobile number, his card number, the whole shot. You can just click on the name, and it'll log him right in. Of course, the other way to do that was to simply, type it in, or with a USB card swiper, you would swipe the card, and it would bring you right to the screen, and it would be populated. So those are the 3 ways that somebody can just log right into the Internet terminal. Either type the number in, put any kind of a letter or number of the customer's name in there, or third, use the USB card swiper to put it in. So either way, this way they can run the program from any computer, library, mom. It doesn't have to be a special computer with any software. There is no software. It's username and password based. So that's how you log in, and the first thing that we want to teach or clarify is what goes on when you do log in. The first thing you see, let's cover the left-hand side, and that's all we're going to cover in this meeting, is the customer's name. You immediately see the customer's name when they log in. Now remember, their customer's not looking at it. This is like a cash register. This is the merchant. This is what you're looking at. They're not seeing it. So we have this name here for a couple reasons. First, it's always good to call the customer by his name. How are you doing today, Steve? Wow, he says, you remembered my name? Yes, I do. And so you can call him by his name. Now, anything that's blue and underlined, just like Internet, protocol up here, that means you can click on it. So you can click on Steve's name, and what will happen when you do that is Steve's customer data will pop up. Now, why is this here? It's here for a couple reasons. One, you can keep your database fresh. You don't want to rely on the customer to do that. I moved to Denver, Colorado a couple years ago, and I still don't think the bank knows that I moved, or I haven't notified them. And that's very similar with many customers. They don't know where their information is. New cell phone numbers, new emails. You can sort of get in the habit of every now and then, not every visit, but anytime you see Steve, and you will know when he came in last, because as soon as you log in, look at this, see? Here's his last transaction. So if it's been about a month, maybe since Steve came in, hey, Steve, do you still have the same address, same phone number, still married to the same woman? Do you still have the same kids? And if any of that has changed, well, you can go ahead and update it, and you keep your database fresh. It's in your best interest. Now, the other reason this is here is that you'll notice there's a box down here, Notes. Now these notes, you can type anything in here, anything you want. His kids' names like we see here, if he's left-handed or right-handed, a 300 game, he likes Patty Mel, anything you want in here, it'll be stored. If Steve happens to spend a little time like pulling out his Visa or MasterCard, and they're not real busy at the desk, of course you can click on his name real quick while he gets ready to pay, and say, hey Steve, how are Avery, Keegan, Gentry, and Peyton today? And he says, do you mean my 4 kids? Well, yes, Steve. I hope, do you know anybody else with those 4 names? And he's going to say, yeah, I just can't believe you remember my kids' names. Oh, of course I do. Remember, I told you at Bud Bowl we care for you probably more than your wife even does. So make sure you come here whenever you're thinking about going, hey, by the way, how's Gary doing? Isn't he your best friend? Do you remember my friend's name too? Yes, I do. Of course I do. And hey, Steve, I noticed you only bowl, you won 3 games today, right? Right. Hey, did you hear our special? No, I did not. Well, Steve, if you order 6 games of open play, I'll throw in a Patty Melt and a Budweiser. What? Those are my 2 favorite things. I know, Steve. That's why I give it to you, Budweiser and Patty Melt. I mean, what else do you know about me? Well, nothing much. I know you still have a high game of 300 to 290, whatever. He's going to be amazed that you know all this stuff. And do you have to tell him you're reading it? No, you don't have to. But even if you are, what a great program, because how many times has anybody even had a conversation with a customer like this? Nobody knows who I am. They don't know who my kids are, my wife is, when I came in last. They don't know what I do, what I like. What does it say when they know all of that, whether it's in the computer or not? It shows that they've got a system that values customers. And if you have a system that shows value to the customer, then open up your cash register, because you're going to need added space to put money in. It's really that simple. You show value and appreciation to your customers, and your register gets more filled than when you do not. And that's why we provide a number of tools that allow for you to do this. So the other thing you can do is click on Review Transaction History. And now you'll be able to see every time Steve came in. What did he do? What did he buy? When was the last time he came in? All color-coded in world-class reporting. And you can just see everything. I mean, can you imagine telling Steve, boy, I remember when you came in 6 months ago and you ordered a Patty Melt with fries? He's going to say, listen, there's just no way. I don't know what kind of system you have, but whatever it is, yeah, I remember that. And you have everything right there at your fingertips. So that's all in the name. So that's why we put that name there. Update your database, keep it fresh, show customer appreciation and value with information that you store. You don't have to do any of that. That's what it does. Now, real quick before we end this session, we want to cover what else is on this left-hand side. You'll notice we have a rewards balance and a gift balance. Now, that's because the card obviously does 2 things, at least. I mean, it keeps track of rewards and it keeps track of a gift balance, just like a gift card. The easiest way for you to remember this, or to teach people, is that the gift balance is money the customer gives the merchant. The rewards balance is money the merchant gives the customer. Totally complete difference. Just like a gift card, if you went to the supermarket and bought a gift card from Chili's, you have to give them $20 or $40, and then they load the money on the card. So you're giving money to the merchant. That's the gift balance. Now, anytime the merchant gives money to the customer, and of course not real money, this is just balance that can be spent at that location, that's the reward balance. That's the difference between reward and gift. And the marketing ramifications are huge, because what you can do is, and we'll cover this in a later session, but obviously you can take money in advance and drive them with rewards for taking money in advance to areas of the restaurant, bowling center, whatever it may be, that are low in revenue. And you can dictate what's being spent here for rewards, but you cannot dictate what's spent on gift. By law, they have to be able to spend the gift balance on anything in the center, because it's real money. It's money that you are just holding for them on the card. And we'll go over why you would want to do such a thing later. So that's the difference. Notice we have a gift reward total and a total gift value. Obviously, this is the current balance. This is the most they've ever had, or the total of the rewards they've ever accumulated. It keeps adding them up. So this is how many they've accumulated. This is the most they've ever had in gift value right here, total gift value. And we did that for a couple reasons. One, so you can see at a glance. If you ever see somebody's reward balance low here, like 880, but he's had 332, well, this looks like a pretty good customer here, and then you can pull that information out and communicate with them. So right at a glance, you can kind of see how they frequented the business, what they've had before, how their current balance is doing. All these things are done for marketing reasons. You also get to see how many transactions he's had right there and when the last transaction occurred. You also get to see at a glance his email address, his phone, so you don't have to click right here. you can simply, hey Steve, is your mobile phone still 562-201-2580? Yeah, great, great. Okay, here's his address, here's the registration date, here's his birthday. So if you see something coming up soon, you may want to do something. So all of that is on the left-hand side, and that's why it's there. And there's a lot to be utilized there rather than just skipping over and going to the transactions, which we will cover in our next session. Thank you very much, and that should cover the login and what is on the left-hand side.